Okay, now please listen here. Working with the human, there are three aspects coming under that working with human. One is consent, harm, risk, and benefits. So when we are working with a human being, for example, when any new medicine or drug is discovered, or when it's approved by the government. For example, in India, we have a drug authority of India. This drug authority of India is giving the companies permission to market a drug. Sometimes what happens is that when you are using a medicine, after a few months when you go to the medical shop, the shop owner said that this drug is now banned. It is not now no more available. What happens is that they will be revising the their permission based on new rules, new findings. When any new finding shows that this drug has to be modified somewhere, those companies which has not modified that drug may be prohibited from marketing that drug. That is why medical shop owners sometimes say this drug is now no more available in the market. It is banned. So, coming to the the title "Working with the Human," what are the aspects? A clinical study involves research using human volunteers that is intended to add medical knowledge. What is a clinical study? Clinical study means when a new drug or new medicine is discovered, what people are doing is that we have to first try that medicine, test that medicine on a rat, then on a monkey, then followed by human volunteers. Human volunteers means they are healthy people, they are physically and mentally healthy. They will be given some advice on the possible side effects of this drug, but they will be willing to participate. And if anything happens to that individual, that medical company or that research group has a responsibility to properly compensate that individual or their family, as well as to properly take care of the health aspect during the complete treatment of that person. So that responsibility is there. So healthy volunteers are normal people, normally between the age of 20 to 50. That is a healthy volunteer, and they will be given advice on what will be the possible effect or side effects. But still, some people will be participating in, because unless we people are participating in this healthy study, no medicine can be approved. So, and that is also a clinical study. There are two main types of clinical studies. One is clinical trials and observational study. And these are the two clinical. One is clinical trials means we are injecting some medicine into our body, or we are taking some medicine, and doctors are watching you for several days or several weeks how that drug or medicine has influenced you. Another is observational studies. From the term itself, we can get an idea. Observation means they will be monitoring you for what are the symptoms, what are the modifications that happens to you during that. For example, they will be injecting some virus, and they will be watching how it is affecting a healthy person. So every clinical study is led by a principal investigator who is often a medical. Then in research, there is a person known as a principal investigator. For example, I am having a research project and I am called a principal investigator. Actually, majority of the work is done by my students who are sitting there. They are doing the work. But who is responsible? I am responsible. If anything goes wrong, I am responsible. If anything, if they are bringing out anything, they will be publishing their paper. So almost all research will be done like this. There will be a lead person, and lead person has to be either a professor or a scientist who has immense experience in that field. Only then the government will approve a project, research project to them. So the principal investigator is the mainly responsible for the legal aspects, the financial aspect, and the technical aspect, but he or she may not be doing any direct research. They will be giving you only the advice. The actual research work will be done by some group of students who will be doing PhD or their postdoctoral studies. So, principal investigator is a person mainly responsible. He will be taking the permission, he will be finding the fund, he will be giving the report. So, this is a person who is the principal investigator. The clinical studies also have a research team that may include doctors, nurses, social workers, healthcare professionals. So, a clinical study means a studies on human beings, and that study will be actually monitored by a large number of people. There will be a group of doctors will be there, nurses will be there, social workers will be there. Why social workers are people with MSW background? They will be going to the society and they will be going visiting the homes. And for example, when Corona has infected you, the social workers will be coming to your home and they will be asking you what are the post-COVID symptoms, post-COVID difficulties you are experiencing. So that is an important data they are collecting. If they are getting that after a COVID, or many people are experiencing some kind of difficulty, some kind of physical difficulty or physiological difficulty, they will be collecting that data and giving it to the research team. And research team will be finding out what could be the possible reason for that. So this is how the research team will be working, and every research team will be under the control of a leader or a team leader, which we call as a principal investigator. Then, in a clinical trial, the participants receive specific intervention according to the research plan or protocol created by, for example, when you are injecting or giving a drug to a human volunteer, there will be a very clear schedule how the research should be done, how the when the research should start, at what day the research should end, and how it should be monitored. So this is the protocol. Based on the protocol only, you can carry out a research and main volunteers. And this intervention may be medical products such as drugs or devices, or sometimes changes in a diet. For example, when a person is having some kind of disease, the doctors may advise you change your diet. Do not eat this food. Try to take this food more. This kind of food more. So there is a changes in diet. Then another aspect is observational study. As I have already explained, investigator assess the health outcomes in groups of participants. What are the health outcome? That means health benefit or health side effects. Maybe positive benefits, sometimes negative effects will be there. So that is known as observational study. So basically, we can find there are two different types of study. Clinical studies are there, and we are also seeing observational study. And based on that, we are getting some kind of. So whenever we are working with the human beings, it's very important that the human volunteer has to be properly advised. Then second aspect of the human working with it, then they should be properly compensated. For example, if you go to the North India, there are several drug companies are there. They will be inviting human volunteers after for carrying out medicine, for carrying out the testing of a drug or a medicine. And if you go to those companies, they will be giving you salary till the end of that study, and they will be also giving you a life insurance and for taking care of your medical treatment. So there are a group of volunteers are going for that. But so that's a human volunteer. They must be informed. Informed means they are given proper information about the positive effect as well as the harmful effect. Then only they can give a consent. Another important aspect is that informed, here you can say that's a term called informed consent. Informed consent simply means you are giving a consent after understanding the negative effects of that drug. That consent is known as informed consent. One important point of the informed consent is that you can any time, for example, it is a study for 1 year. You have given a contract, but after 3 months or 4 months, you find that you don't need to participate in the study. You can any time withdraw from that study. That is known as informed consent. So human volunteers have that informed consent. So that is an important aspect of your of the it. So these are some of the important areas. The common reasons for conducting then the clinical studies that mainly to approve new drugs. Then there is a term known as informed consent. It's a process used by researchers to provide potential or enrolled participants with information about the clinical study. What are the possible positive effects as well as harmful effects? The purpose is that for example, after 5 or 6 months, the individual feels that it is creating too much problem for my health. I should withdraw from this study. So that kind of consent is known as informed consent. In general, person must sign an informed consent before joining a study. Signing the document and providing the consent is not a contract. So this is an important. That is, any time you can withdraw. It is not a. For example, you are joining a job, you are signing a contract that you will be there for 1 year. He cannot withdraw from that contract without paying back the salary you have received. Here there is no such thing. Even if you have received a compensation, monthly compensation of 50,000 or something, after 5 months you are stopping. There will not be any legal action against you. You can withdraw from that any time. So that kind of consent is known as the participants may withdraw from the study at any time, even if the study is not over. That is why new drugs are always expensive, because conducting study on human beings is not easy. They have to be properly compensated, properly, and they can withdraw from the study anytime. So unless a drug is approved, tested on human beings, Drug Authority of India will not approve any drug. That is why in India we have few drugs are actually produced in India. Most of the time, what happens is that for clinical trial on human beings, we don't get sufficient number of human beings, sufficient number of human volunteers. But if you go to European countries or American countries, they are more aware of the importance of human studies, and more volunteers are coming in those countries. Then this is regarding the what are the benefits and side effects of joining a trial. The volunteers in a clinical trial participate in the development of medical therapies that offer better. For example, even when corona vaccination is discovered, many people they know that they know that the negative side effects of that. Still, they participated in that. That is why today we have corona vaccine. So they are getting the first benefit. Most of the time, these vaccines or these medicines will be approved after studies on animals. So when before coming to the human studies, there will be some information, a lot of information available about the negative and positive effects of that. So the one important advantage is that we are getting the first benefit of the study. So these are the important aspects of the work. The important aspect that we have to take care while working with human beings. Okay.